should we outlaw religion? No, we shouldn't outlaw religion. And if I had the power to like wave a magical wand and say, let's eradicate all religion, I wouldn't do it. And part of that is because I don't think we ought to punish thought crime. If someone wants to believe in God and it's in their head, they have every right to believe whatever they want to believe. They have every right to practice their religion however they want to practice it, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. And I think that's really where you have to draw the line, where their beliefs go into action. So if their religious beliefs say, my God tells me that my daughter is sick and I should just pray for her to get better, instead of taking her to a doctor who can actually do something, and then that child dies, I think those parents should be punished for what they did. I don't think that's, punishing religion. I think that's punishing bad decision making and letting that sort of stuff happen. I don't think we should allow religion to dictate how we run our country's policies. So, we have religious reasons for why abortion clinics shut down and why gay people can't get married all over the country. And I think we ought to do away with those too. I strongly support this idea of separation of church and state, even if it wasn't, a constitutional type of law, or, in effect, as the way the courts have ruled that way. I think it would have been a good idea anyway. We ought to rule based on public policy. We ought to make our public policy based on good decisions and what's best for everybody. And if your religion disagrees with that, okay, then when you're in church, you don't have to follow those rules. No one's making any church marry a gay couple and bless them. Your church doesn't have to do that. But this idea that we should run our country based off of what some people's religious views are, that's a bad way to run a country. So I'm all for getting rid of those sorts of things, but I would never punish someone for going to church or believing in what they believe, even if they believed in the worst possible things. They believe that God created the world in a few thousand years, and gay people are destined for hellfire, and anyone who doesn't think the way they do are going to be eternally punished. I don't care. I hope I can persuade you not to believe those things, but I don't really care in terms of policy. I don't think you should be punished for any of that unless somehow you turn it into action and you physically punish someone for doing whatever it is you do. But the truth is, if I had a wand and I could get rid of religion, I wouldn't do it. And I once heard Christopher Hitchens say something like this, where someone asked him, if you could get rid of all religion, would you do it? And I believe he said, no, I wouldn't do it, because who would I talk to? Who would I argue with? There's something fun about really discussing, debating something that you have a strong feeling about. And this is a disagreement, people who believe in God and people like me who don't. I think that's a conversation I love to have because I'm passionate about it and I feel like I'm right. So I like having that conversation. So no one should be punished for what they believe. They should only be punished if somehow they take those beliefs and try to turn them into bad policy. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Please leave your comments below.